Is it getting better? Or do you feel the same? Will it make it easier on you now? You got someone to blame. You said one love, one life, when it's one need in the night.
In the 1990s, you saw the repercussions of the fall of communism in the former Soviet Union. You saw ethnic conflict flaring up again in the Balkans. In countries like Romania, you saw inside oppressive regimes like Ceausescu's, in which so many children were abandoned in orphanages. And all of these situations posed huge humanitarian emergencies.
We saw the full impact of evil in Rwanda, and watching just so many people killed.
April 6th is sort of the fatal day in 1994 in the history of Rwanda, when the presidents of Rwanda and Burundi, both countries with Hutu majorities and Tutsi minorities, these men were killed when their plane was shot down.
There were 1 million people killed in about 6 weeks period of time, and they were killed largely with machetes and clubs.
It had been raining for 2 weeks since the massacres had begun, and we could smell that church before we turned the corner, and we saw it and saw the bodies all over the ground, and then the bodies piled inside.
And we don't grasp the magnitude of that until you begin to see the bodies stack up.
So we gathered notes, we gathered still photographs and video footage, hardest video footage I ever shot in my life, hardest thing I think I ever did in my life. That, that footage showing 500 men, women, and children hacked to death, and dead where they had fallen. That was the main story on the evening news. It went out everywhere, and basically it shamed the world into doing something.
As a humanitarian organization, World Vision's directive is to go to those dangerous places and go where people are suffering. But as Christians, we're called to do more. We're called to not just treat the effects of poverty and conflict, but to seek solutions at the root, and to advocate for change, and to be a voice for the voiceless, and also to bring reconciliation and healing where we can.
Without reconciliation in Rwanda between Tutsis and Hutus, the future of that country will be tainted by the same massacres that pockmark the past.
Here was a relief effort, massive countrywide relief effort that was taking place post-genocide. There hadn't been anything quite like that on the radar in a very, very long time.
Romania was yet another example of how children become the focus for World Vision. After the fall of Ceausescu, the world got to see what had been going on in Romania, and one of the most heartbreaking things was the fact that so many children had been abandoned in these orphanages and not given love and care that they so desperately needed.
And so for me, walking into these rooms of just row upon row of abandoned children and no one to care for them, it was very difficult. When I was there, I would do my job, I would take the photos, I would get the information, and I'd get out of the orphanages and my knees would buckle.
The children in Romania, the home of the unrecoverables, and how difficult that was, and still is.
World Vision gave a lot of assistance in these orphanages to to those who were caring for the kids, just to increase that level of caregiving.
We brought in people like speech therapists and other kinds of therapists. We brought in volunteers who would just work with the children, hold them, just cuddle them, which was something that was missing. But as much as possible to rescue each child.
You see some tremendous expressions of faith coming through those very, very difficult situations. Kids who would smile at you in a home for the unrecoverable in Romania. When you couldn't smile back.
On a personal level, he had experienced Vietnam as a Marine, and as World Vision president, he brought us back to Vietnam and brought reconciliation there.
The personal agenda and all that was very heavy at in those early meetings. And I went back every year for about 10 years, and I've been back with the State Department as well. Those early times when we were just trying to find something in common that we could build upon, something that would reduce the fact that there wasn't any trust and there wasn't any compassion. And they very much didn't like us, to get back to a place where World Vision is the largest NGO in all of Vietnam. And I would say by far and away the best.
Working by now in 100 countries meant that World Vision could immediately respond to almost any crises. Either we were on the ground there or had some kind of partner that could help us in our response.
This is a tremendous mission. There are things that World Vision can uniquely do. Only World Vision can do.
The 1990s isn't about the places that things transpired, but it's what transpired in those places.
The circumstances for World Vision's work were also increasingly dangerous and risky, and we had people on the ground in war-torn Bosnia and in lawless Somalia, also in terrorism-controlled Peru, where 2 of our staff members were gunned down and killed outside of our Lima office.
And suddenly relief work became a very, very dangerous kind of trade. And that's continued to this day.
One of the things that got me through the day, many days, was Mother Teresa's comment, "God has not called me to be successful, only faithful." And there's a point in working this world that He so loved that what we do is what we've been asked to do, work until He comes, and let Him keep score.
Drag the past out into the night where one